Brought to you by Crispalicious International. Over. Hey everybody, it's Crispy Treats. How are you guys doing today? So today I have quite a bit of a story for you guys, and I hope you enjoy every bit of it as much as I enjoyed experiencing it. So this happened back in November. I used to work at a gym as a cleaner, and I had met this dude, and I got his phone number and everything, right? He was just really friendly and stuff. Like, he was just really friendly with everybody. Like, apparently everybody knew him. He was very popular. He was this older, bigger dude. He was probably like in his 40s or something. I won't say his real name, so we'll go with like a really generic name. So we'll go with Steve. Yeah. So what ended up happening is my best friend Patrick, the one that was in my zombie video, he works out at the gym, and we're like gym bays now, so like we, I don't know, like bench each other. And Patrick warned me. He was like, dude, Steve is kind of weird. Like, he will message you all the time. And I was like, okay, well, I'll deal with it. It's fine. So what ended up happening was I get Steve's phone number, and he starts messaging me constantly. Like, he would tell me good morning, good night, like he was my mother or something. And he would like constantly ask me where I was, what I was doing, and I thought that was a little weird, but I just thought that's just kind of how he was. Like, I didn't think that he was just a creeper on purpose. And I don't know, so he would message me at like 6 in the morning, like 12 at night, 2 in the morning, and like I had a schedule at the time. Like, I was a really busy person, but he wanted me to be like his best friend. He was like, man, you'll see, we'll become best friends. And I was like, man, I'm watching. And he was like, you have to want it too. And I was like, dude, I'm wanting it. I guess, like, I was just trying to be really friendly with him, you know. But at some point he asked me, hey dude, what's tomorrow? And I was like, tomorrow's Tuesday, Steve. And he was like, my birthday. And I was like, oh, well, happy birthday, I guess. And he was like, so what'd you get me? And I was like, am I supposed to get you something, Steve? I don't know, like, I barely know you. So from that, I was like, do you want to plan a birthday lunch together? And he was like, sure. And I was like, okay, so let's go to Subway. Let's get some footlongs right in our digestive system. And he was like, all right, cool, but I gotta lose like 70 pounds. I was like, all right, we'll order water then. After that, shortly, he would just constantly message me about his troubles with women and stuff like that. Now, I related to him because I was having a lot of troubles myself, and just having a person in my life in general. I had a lot of struggles, and so did he, apparently. So he would just constantly say like, oh man, it happened again. Like, this girl was like, I don't know, we were dancing in the club or whatever. I guess he goes to clubs, I don't know. And he was like, yeah, like, she was just being like all over me and stuff, and then like she didn't want anything. And then I was like, well, Steve, I don't know, just focus on yourself. Just try to be, you know, the best version of you that you can be, and maybe a woman will come around eventually, man. You don't have to look for it. And he would just constantly just have troubles like that and stuff, and I was just like, man, now, at the time, I was a pretty busy person. Like, I was constantly working or trying to learn how to drive my car or whatever, and I was constantly just busy doing stuff, just trying to set up pity dates, because I'm not a complete loser. I can still get pity dates. I'm balling over here, alright. No, but eventually, he told me that he wanted to take me on a cruise because we were such good friends, apparently. And he was like, oh man, dude, it'll be so cool. Like, we'll meet some bomb-ass bitches on this cruise or whatever. And I was like, oh, please, do not take me on a cruise. Like, I feel bad that you didn't even, like, offer to pay for that. And he was like, dude, don't worry, I got a lot of money. And I was like, okay, I guess. And he was like, yeah, man, it's because we're good friends, so text me first sometime. And I was like, okay, that was very sharp of him just to mention that I don't text him first. I'm just, like I said, I was really busy. Like, I was just constantly doing stuff. I didn't have time to just have him as my best friend. Because, you know, I already have a best friend, Patrick. Hello, Patrick. I love you. Anyway, so eventually Christmas time just kind of rolls around, and he asked me for a Christmas present too. And I'm like, what, Steve? I barely know you. You're an older dude. I can't do this. I can't give you presents. I'm trying to make money. And like December passed by so quickly for me. I didn't even think of getting presents for like anybody really until like near the end. So eventually we end up going to Subway, and like when I got off of work and I was getting into his car to go to Subway, I was just like, oh man, I hope I don't die. But I didn't die. He actually took me to Subway. And I was very surprised because I thought that was going to be the end of my life. And because like, okay, even at the Subway, he was just nice and friendly to people, and he knew a few of the people there and stuff, and he was talking about, like, I don't know, he was reminiscing about, I don't know, his fucking Vietnam War with some dude or something like that. No, he probably helped them with, like, I don't know, their car or something, and he just seemed like a nice dude, but he gave me such creepy vibes. So I go to sit down with him, and I ask him, like, okay, so what's your background, what's your job, and, you know, what family do you have? He said he was divorced because his wife was like a drug addict or something, and he has like a couple kids, and he told me that he owns multiple car dealerships. Now, when he told me that he owned multiple car dealerships, I just thought like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And then he pulls out his wallet and he shows me like fucking $6,000 or something in his wallet. His wallet was fat with the PH, all right? And I was just like, whoa. And he was telling me just like, no, man, like this doesn't make me happy, you know, like I have enough money in the world to just pay for whatever, but like I'm not happy, you know, like I gotta find a girl or something like that, pretty much along the lines of what he told me. And then we sat down. He paid for my lunch though, because I forgot my wallet, or I didn't forget my wallet, I just got off of work and I didn't have my wallet on me because I don't bring my wallet to work. And he paid for me, and I was like, oh, that's really nice of him. So we get up, I don't know, he tells me about like how we're gonna be best friends and stuff like that. I don't know, he just told me a bunch of stuff. He gave me a hug. He was like all nice and sweaty, and oh gosh, because he was just from the gym too. And he would constantly tell me stuff like, I'm gonna tackle you, I'm gonna beat you up, man, like we're gonna have fun and stuff, and that would always like put me off too. But I don't know, there were a lot of points where I wouldn't respond to what he was saying because I was just busy, like I said, and he would sometimes just go off and be like, see man, why are you so mean to me? And I'm like, I'm not trying to be mean to you, what do you mean? Eventually, I just tell him straight up, like, dude, I can't be your best friend, like, I don't mind having you around in my life and stuff, and I'm not trying to hurt you or anything, I just want to be, like, just friends, just sometimes hang out like every once in a while. I don't know, like I couldn't connect to him on a personal level really. He was just kind of around, so I was just trying to be really friendly to him. And he was like, man, I don't want sometime friends, man, I want real friends. And I was just like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like I find a lot of friends to be sometime friends. Like, you can't just hang out with, like, certain friends all the time. Like, it gets really taxing. At one point, he sent me, I'll say, he sent me an S for Steve. Yeah, and I sent him a C, and I was like, I don't know, man, why'd you send me an S? And he was like, and then I said, I thought S first was for Steve, so I sent a C for Christian. And he was like, okay. Like, he just started sending me really weird text messages like that, and I don't know, I tried to set things straight, and I think it went alright. So eventually he called me and he was just like, yeah, man, like I want to be, like he just kept on hammering down the best friend thing. He was just like, I want to be best friends. Like, I want you to be the, like he literally told me this. Okay, so this is where it starts to get really weird. So he said, I want to have a type of friend that can come over to my house and we can like have pillow fights and stuff all night. And I was just like, oh, what? This grown-ass man just said that. He just said he wanted to have a pillow fight with an 18-year-old. Yeah, I just kind of left him alone for a little bit, and then eventually I go on my pity date, right? And then I come back, and he says that he hurt his back and he needs x-rays and stuff like that. He calls me again, and I'm like, hey dude, what's up? And then he's like, dude, my back really hurts. Like, do you know how to give a massage? Like, do you know how to work like lotions and stuff like that? And I was like, Steve, unless you are a really cute girl, I do not know anything about giving massages, okay? I don't know anything. I've never done it in my entire life, okay? So please, I don't want to. And then he just started going off about the cruise again, and he was like, dude, I just want to go on that cruise. I want to mess around all night and stuff. And then I was like, what do you mean by mess around all night, Steve? And he was like, ah, dude, not like that. Like, you're dirty, man. And I was like, okay, I'll talk to you later then. So eventually he asks me when our next date is, like with me and him, not my next date with the girl. And I'm just like, all right, we can try to do something. I tried to set something up, but I was like, dude, I'm really busy, like always. And then he guilt tripped me. He was just like, man, I bet you don't tell Patrick that you're ever busy for him. And I was like, Steve, stop it. I was like, okay, I'll set something up with you. So I set up for the next day to have lunch with him again, and then I literally forgot, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry, my brother can still take me like to the place and stuff, and we can still, you know, set up our thing or whatever. And he said, no man, it's cool, you like, I'll never ask again, you know. And then he calls me a liar for forgetting my wallet at Subway. He's like, I don't like liars, man. And I was like, why does this even matter to you? If you're so rich, why do you care about a $5 sandwich? And also, I forgot my wallet. Like, how can... I felt bad. Like, he tried to... Oh. And then, you know, after this, I just start to get really tired of him. Like, I don't really want to talk to him. And he still asks me for a Christmas gift, by the way, after all of this, after calling me a liar. And then, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just make up with him again. And then... eventually it's starting to come up on the time for the cruise, so I asked my manager, I'm like, hey, so, can I go on a cruise with this dude? Apparently he's taking me on a cruise. And then my manager gets really suspicious of this, and then, so what happens next is I start messaging him, and I'm like, hey, dude, and he's like, I'm not your dude, man, and I was like, I thought we just made up. And then I was like, why are you upset with me again? And he's like, he literally told me this. He said, black people don't like being called dude. And then at that point I was just like, okay, I'm done. So my manager like catches up with me, and she's just like, yeah, this dude is kind of creepy. Like, he's had suspicious behavior. Like, he's talked to a lot of like younger dudes that go here and stuff like that, and their friends and stuff. And we've had complaints from parents to the gym about this dude that's been talking to their kids and stuff, and saying really innuendo, like sexual stuff. And apparently he doesn't own a bunch of car dealerships, he just works at one. Apparently he doesn't have any family as far as my manager knows. And yeah, apparently this has also happened to another coworker. And at that point I was just like, just tell Steve that we can't talk anymore. And she did that. And then she told me, okay, so I told Steve that Christian has been creeped out by you. And he was just like, man, he's creeping me out. Just tell him that, you know what, if he talks to me again, I'm gonna take his job. And I was like, whoa. So yeah, that's the end of that story. I haven't really talked to Steve much. I've seen him around at the gym. I don't really work at the gym anymore. I'm kind of on call, but I do work out at the gym, and I see him every once in a while. I do not make eye contact with him. So I hope you guys enjoyed this ridiculous story. Man, it was a weird couple of months, I will say that. So remember to support me, give me an old like, share my videos around, spread the word, hit the little bell and all that, give me some camarinos, and I will see you guys next time. I love you, my little cookies. Goodbye.